So where do we begin? I've always had this idea of doing long form video content. I can say I've had the idea and someone actually persuaded me to do video content in itself. But after my 1 minute clips, charades, I realized that I wanted more. I wanted to create something more than 1 minute clip. And in my mind, I was a filmmaker, I was able to create these crazy videos I watch on YouTube and maybe short films too. So it was kind of a dream not actualized. And I was planning on actualizing that dream. And here we are. The biggest impediment to the filmmaking process was what was I making and what kind of story did I want to tell. I could have done anything. I could have done vlogs, I could have done tutorials, random films, short content, breaking news, but it wouldn't cut it for me. It's not my thing. I had to look differently. I had to look within. Then it occurred to me that why don't I do a video adaptation of my podcast? The vision became very clear, but there were two impediments to it. Was I doing narration based films or was I doing story based films? Narration in this sense where I take you on a journey by narrating the podcast or I narrate a film for you. Or story based where I create a story based on an existing topic of the podcast. And with a few friends, I realized that why don't we do both of them? So here we are, the first episode of my podcast, The Journey Through Life. The episode aired September 2022. And basically, that episode was explaining what the podcast was going to be about. We're going to be talking about topics, varieties of other stuff. And this video too is basically just telling you what the video series will be about, what you would expect, and what I'm trying to achieve by doing this. In the videos, we'll be talking about different aspects of life, purpose, fear, money, touching different topics, with narrations or story based on the podcast episode because everything from here is based on the podcast episode. Just like the podcast, I love to talk to people about life. I love to share my experiences, share what I've learned. Also like to hear what you think about life. And I feel that the video series is one step closer to actualizing that dream. The podcast was just okay, you hear me, but now you can see me and you can hear me. It's a different feel where I can show pictures, I can also show videos of something that would evoke an emotion within you. The grand idea is to do things whether people believe in you or not. Like when I started the podcast, I didn't really have too many fans. And it's only one person that helped me throughout the journey. And that was Benjamin, because it was even Benjamin that I knew that people actually do podcasts. It was like Benjamin had a podcast, and I was like, I feel like I have something to say, Benjamin. How can I create the podcast for myself? So it's not like as if anyone believed in me in the beginning. And just with the podcast, after the podcast, I did writing. After writing, I've started videos now. And it's not like as if anyone is cheering me up from inside and like, yeah, Joba, you can do it, you can do it. Although I have people that like believe in me, it's not like as if everyone believes in me. And that's fine. Not everyone is always going to believe in what you're trying to achieve or what you're trying to do. You just have to do it anyway. And most people don't know too much about life. Most people don't focus too much about life. That they're just living life day by day, but not thinking about the intricacies or things that would expand your horizon. You could be looking at life in one way when life is multiple different ways. You could go this route, you could go that route, you could go any route. The idea of this is to expand your mind, see things that you wouldn't normally see. And one fact about life is that the people that shape our reality, the people that shape our society, are people that actually follow their dreams, follow their ideas and passion. Look at all the great inventors and the great poets, the great writers, great filmmakers. They're all the people that had a dream, had vision, had goals, and they executed it. So, what's stopping you from actualizing that dream of yours? Don't be afraid to follow your own path because at the end of the day, no one is going to remember you. they're only going to remember what you created.